Yeah.
No, I felt really good when I came in and I didn't see it. I was like, oh, it's not my fault. We're all pretty prompt here. See how I included you all in my target.
Yeah, right.
Are we on? Okay. I'd like to call to order the continuing meetings of the Ethics Advisory Board for September 23rd, 2022. Welcome, everybody. And go through the agenda. Are there any changes?
I don't have any changes.
Is there anybody who wishes to address the? Seeing none. We have our standard item discussion material received today. I don't believe we've received anything further since our last meeting, other than a letter from the city attorney. I can't remember if I copied everybody else.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, I use your microphone. I'm not sure we need to discuss the substance of that other than it is calling for a response. And so we want to think about what that should be. And I'm trying to think is that something that should be discussed in executive session, or I'm thinking it can be discussed in open session. Particularly that you've given us legal advice. And that's what he's asking for, is what is our legal position on the objections that he's raised and his claims of attorney-client privilege. I'm thinking we should have a public statement of our legal position. But tell me if that's a problem.
No, I don't think that's a problem. We may want to consider whether or not you want that letter in response to come from me or from the chairman.
You are our counsel. It seems like it should come from you, and it would be your memo.
Yeah. I might, as opposed to releasing the memo, draft a letter that I can mail from under my signature, from my firm's letterhead to him, that the board could release.
Yeah. And I'd sent you an email this morning.
Right.
I'd reread your memo and I was thinking, if this was presented to the public, there's some things we probably would want to do to explain it further and make it. Yeah. So I don't know if you looked at my comments, but.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. If they made any sense at all.
Certainly they did. Yeah. So I can work
Okay.
on that and get a draft to everyone early next week.
Okay.
And, I think it's appropriate because we received it from the city's attorney. You're the Ethics Advisory Board attorney, so that's probably the way we should go with this.
I agree with that.
And we could just have him, or just the city attorney get it, but in the interest of transparency, do we want to make it public so everybody understands what our legal position is? We will be making the city's documents available if they're not available already. Okay. Oh, that's right. We're going to talk about that today. If those are public, then certainly the issues raised are in his letters. So I'm thinking it would make sense, put it all out there. Yeah. You're correct.
The city's the only party that's questioning our authority to do what we're doing. So I think it makes sense to put it out there as well.
Yeah. As always, Sharon, you're correct there.
Not always.
As
Good thing.
almost always. Yeah.
I mean, it's in a different character than our responses to their questions. It's ongoing litigation about this issue. And so it has a different character. So I'm not saying that makes a big difference, but it just isn't the same as the other things that we've released.
Right. So why don't we proceed with the discussion of the other items that our council has reviewed for potential redactions and found no reason to redact anything in terms of personal information. But I believe there was an issue raised. Do we want to release them now? And why don't we put that item on the table? And I see we have somebody who might want to make a public comment. Well, before we proceed with that discussion, do we want to entertain public comment? I think, yeah, okay. Don't mean to rush you. Take a minute or a moment.
Good afternoon. My name is Zach Wynn. Sorry that I'm tardy. You've recently begun posting documents, responses to the Ethics Board inquiry on the legislature's website. I have acquired other documents via FOIL, specifically a meeting invitation from Center for Policing Equity to a great deal of Center for Policing Equity employees and 2 City of Ithaca employees. In addition to the scope of work agreement signed between the City of Ithaca and former Mayor Merrick and Tracy Keese of Center for Policing Equity. And I am curious when documents similar to that showing internal communications relevant to the reimagining public safety process, any minutes from meetings that Center for Policing Equity conducted with the city and the county. I know there was a note taker, Lillian Hua, who was a participant in these meetings. In addition to any information about non-disclosure agreements and their function in the greater context of the working groups. I expressed concern initially when former Mayor Merrick appointed his working group, and I was later told that their meetings were not open to the public. And I don't think that was in the spirit of this effort as was laid out at the beginning. So I think more information is better. And if you have anything you could release, you should do it as soon as possible. And I yield the remainder of my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right, so we were just picking up the issue of the remaining documents that have been reviewed by council, and do we want to do any further redactions to those documents to protect issues that we are in the thick of investigating? And I think there was a question raised by one of you about that, and I don't know if anybody wants to speak to the issue.
Yeah, I thought it would be something worthwhile to discuss. I wasn't taking a position on that. On reconsideration, I think that it would be useful just to release everything as it is, and people may amend their remarks once they've seen other people's responses. And I don't think there's much that we can do about it. Maybe the public will be able to inform us that they have other information that might pertain to those kind of responses. So I'm supportive of releasing the rest of the documents.
Is everybody else comfortable with that? Yeah, I think this is the right thing to do. So there we have direction, Katrina. Good. Okay. And I'm trying to think, is there anything other related to the material we've received that we need to talk about in open session? I don't think there is. We should talk about when we want to hold another meeting. And I don't know if everybody has their calendars available.
The earliest I would be available next week is Thursday morning.
29th.
Yeah, and Friday afternoon.
Are you, Thursday afternoon, are you available?
No, I have three meetings at Thursday.
Okay, I teach in the morning, so that cuts
Okay,
across.
well, how about Friday?
I'm open Friday.
I'm off on Friday on vacation.
I want you to, okay? Oh, there's something here. Okay, well, it looks like we've fully spent September then. And we are going to start looking at October, the week of October 3rd. I am available. Let's see, Monday, all day, Wednesday all day, Friday all day.
On Monday. I'm available all day too.
All day? Yeah, okay. Okay,
12. But I'm available in the afternoon.
sorry? Wednesday afternoon? Katrina? Council?
I can make it work.
All right, let's. Wednesday, what time would you like to do? 1?
Yeah, you want to?
2 or 3, yeah, a little later is better if it's like the end of the day.
O'clock. Or we can do 3. 2? 2 o'clock. Shoot. Yeah, and that's, and I'll ask about that. I've been trying to shoot for 2 hours, but not more. I just find that a meeting that goes beyond 2 hours, you don't do as good a job. But maybe that's personal. You know, if you guys want to march through, we could take a caffeine break and try to crush it.
Not sure that one meeting will suffice.
It won't. I don't see, I mean, we've got a ways to go and it sure looks like we're going to need to gather more information. So we will be holding more meetings. So I think 2 hours is an appropriate amount of time to spend on it. Is that good for everybody? All right. Okay.
Before we move into executive session, is that what you were planning?
Yeah.
I would just like to say for the benefit of the public, I mean, through the press here is that, you know, we had intended to expedite this process from the very beginning. And here we are in October, almost in October, you know, and I just want the public to understand that as all advisory boards were volunteers and, you know, and we all had things that were fully occupying our life before we took this up. And now we have hundreds of pages of documents to review and we've met twice this week. So, you know, just being thoughtful and careful, not to make errors here that, you know, we're going to do the best we can, but it's not going to be as expedited as I had hoped at first.
Yeah, and certainly I think that's a good thing to say, Brian. We got a pretty extensive complaint. There's a lot of different avenues to look at. We've asked for a lot of information from a lot of different sources and, you know, in some manner or other, we've gotten responses, whether they're complete or not, you know, we'll keep looking at, but we certainly are developing follow-up questions. I think we want to be thorough. I'm very satisfied with the pace that we're keeping now, that we've been able to start deliberations and review of the information, but we'll be going for a while, unfortunately. It would be nice to get a very quick resolution to this, but I think it's going to take a few more meetings, at least. Yeah, okay. Could I get a motion to go into executive session? And we do not intend to or plan to take any action when we come out of executive session, correct? Okay. Could I get a motion? Thank you. Could I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor? That's unanimous. Great. Okay. We will take a minute or two to go off the record and we'll commence discussions.